Welcome back to Think Rugby podcast. It's episode number, what is it now? Episode number 4?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, we'll go with number 4. Episode number 4, season number 1 of the Think Rugby podcast. Before we get into the episode though, drop a subscribe, give this video a like, share it to a friend who needs to see this quality rugby content. End of the day, our objective is to grow the grassroots game and also just talk a lot of waffle and entertain you guys. Also, follow us on X or Twitter at Think Rugby Podcast and also at Andy Moore, and also on TikTok at Think Rugby. Get also some good quality content on there, and a lot of bad reactions from some English and South African fans. Anyway, we'll get back into the episode. So, well, a lot has happened, but I think what we'll do is we'll start with a bit of fun before we get into our long and passionate rants, and that's a little bit of something to leave you with. But just before so last week or the week before we did a list, and for me it was I had to guess the top 10 try scorers of New Zealand of all time. I think it was, that's right. So I am going to take my turn at quizzing Andy, and he has no idea what it is. But I'll say just now, obviously. Top 10 Scottish try scorers of all time. So I'm turning it a bit more local. Right. So before we kick off to this, Andy, how optimistic, how confident you're feeling?
I probably know 3, maybe 4. Other than that, I think I might just embarrass myself here, but show must go on, you know.
Well, last week I think it was only 5 for the All Black guys, and I thought I'd get all 10. Be happy with 8, but I got 5. So if you beat 5, then fair play. The Scottish one's kind of tricky because obviously, I'm not going to spoil too much, but Scotland have got a lot of better in recent times. Okay, so here we go. 1 to 10, no particular order. Who you got?
Well, I'll go for number 1, Duhan van der Merwe.
He's top of the list, 28 tries. Just recently broke the record. I was just waiting to say who he broke the record from, but I'll leave that one. I bet you can guess it.
That man would be Stuart Hogg, number 2.
Nice, Shagger, number 2, Stuart Hogg. 2 out of 2 so far.
Yeah. I'll have a stab in the dark with, I don't know if he'll be in the top 10, but I would have thought Dershot Graham would be there as well.
Joint third.
Joint third?
Joint third, yeah, 24.
Chris Patterson.
Jeez, oh, that's number 6. One more time with me.
Who else would there be?
Oh, heaps of folk. 6 more people, actually.
Hugh Jones?
Oh, he's only done it. Number 8.
Just try to think of boys that have played recently that have been in the team.
There would be one that's played in the past 5 years.
That I've not mentioned.
Yeah.
Finn Russell, no?
No. That's your first life. Oh, by the way, if you're playing at home, guys, 3 lives, and that's it. Gives a bit of an edge to it. Pressure for an answer.
Yeah, I'll go for Blair Kinghorn then.
No, it's your second life.
Oh no.
I'll give you a little hint. One of them, number 10, he's a bald fraud.
Bald frog?
Fraud.
Fraud. Oh, Gregor Townsend.
Yeah. Yeah. Tooney, number 10, well done.
Of course, how could I have forgotten about Tooney?
Yeah, a decent, really good player back in the day. Better than what
Yeah.
he can coach, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a horrendous tangent. We'll maybe speak about him in a future episode.
Yeah. The last one I think you'll definitely get is he actually wasn't born in Scotland.
Chris Harris.
Unfortunately, that's all your lives.
Oh,
What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's, well, to be fair, you beat me. I got 5, I'm pretty sure. So I'll just quickly rattle off the list. I'll go 10 to 1. So in 10th place was Townsend with 17. In ninth was, well, joint ninth or 10th is Alan Tate with 17. He was back in like the late 90s and early 2000s. You had Hugh Jones also with 17. This is the one that you'll know. Tommy Seymour.
oh, of course, yeah.
Tommy Seymour, number 7. I don't know why, I've not got written down how many he got actually. 6 was Chris Patterson. Number 5 was Tony Stanger, played in the 90s. Number 4, Ian Smith with 24 tries. Third, Darcy Graham. Second, Stuart Hogg with 27. And then first, big Duhan van der Merwe with 28 tries in 41 games. Do you think that Van der Merwe will reach 50 try limit?
How old is he right now, do you know?
28.
28.
And I think he's about 29, 30 years old.
He shouldn't be far away if he doesn't. I would say he's easily got another 4 years, so yeah, he shouldn't be far away.
I just feel for a winger, like, a winger's international and professional career is so much shorter compared to, like, a prop or a second row, just because you need to be so quick. Obviously, you're priming your game off that. You need to be fast, even though you're big, like Van der Merwe. You need to be fast. So I just don't know how long he'll keep up that pace for, being like the size he is. As you get older, the slower you get, the harder you got to work. So I'm not sure. I think Scotland might bleed some players through that might end up taking his place essentially. But I know it'll take a lot, but that's just only me. And I mean, we just got to see how it goes. But 28 is respectable in 41 games, to be fair. Of course,
Very.
you couldn't just jump in and get into the squad. You had to do those 3 years of residency beforehand. So no, I think he'll definitely finish top try scorer by the time he retires. Like nobody will be ahead of him. I can't see Darcy Graham being ahead of him, but I think Kyle Stein might be up there. Yeah, that's a lot of one. Not a massive. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not a wild assumption, but it's maybe one that people don't always think about. Right, okay, into the main topic, and buckle your seatbelts, guys, because there might be a few passionate rants incoming, because I am not happy with this whatsoever. Springboks take down the All Blacks in Johannesburg, Ellis Park, I believe it was.
Somewhere in South Africa.
To be honest, I don't really pay attention to that. I just pay attention to the rugby. I try to blank out the South African fans, and I mean we'll discuss that just very shortly why I do that. But you know what? We'll digest it down. First half and second half. I mean they were both absolutely brilliant halves, but we'll start with the first half, as you do, obviously. So the Boks, the Boks were actually quite lucky to be so close at the break. Like, if you think about it, one of their tries, no, not one of their tries, sorry. What the penalty kick came from, in my opinion, a very poor decision, and I think everybody was in this kind of same kind of consensus. Was the South African forward? I can't remember who it was. They jackled over, but they were miles off their feet, and he managed to get the penalty, maybe 30-minute mark or so, and Sasha Feinberg. I'm waiting to say his name properly. Sasha Feinberg in Zulu, close enough. He nailed like a 60 metre kick or something, 55-metre kick. It was absolutely insane. I mean, fair play to the fella, but it came from like very poor refereeing. And it wasn't the only situation. There were two very dodgy ones, which led to scores. The other one was Momambi's try, the hooker. What do you think on that one, Andy? Because for me, I think it's quite black and white, clear as day.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. The thing I would say about the penalty is, yeah, obviously, what a hit from Sasha Zulu. He's clearly the number one fly half for the Springboks now. I don't have that. You're not wrong with what you're saying, but the atmosphere in that game, especially in the first half, it was the wrong decision from the referee, but he's human, without getting into hollow, without the referees, we wouldn't have a game. Without getting into any of that, when you're in the lines then like that, and you've got 50 odd thousand Springbok fans like screaming for something, I mean, to me, it's only natural that you do make a mistake every now and then. Having said that, though, I have got very little time for the TMO making that mistake, and it's a recurring theme, I would say, in the last 2-3 years. Whenever the home team has a controversial kind of look of a try, the TMO usually, more times often than not, shies away from looking at it properly. I mean, there is a couple of exceptions, obviously, but to me, that at the weekend, we had one look at the TMO, and the All Blacks weren't happy with the footage, and they're quite right to not be happy. But that for me was a clear as day knock on, and the try shouldn't have stood.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I actually thought like the referee blew to stop the conversion from happening to review it, but it wasn't. It was actually like the boy Sasha ran out of time for the conversion. But it was so confusing. Like, I don't even know. Like, TMO should be just checking that straight away. Even if the referee's blown try, straight away check that as fast as you can. So if there is any like instant where Mamami knocks it on, which he did, you can just go straight to it well before the conversion is taken. You've actually got it all the way up until the restart happens to change your mind. So they had so much time there because Sasha took all over 90 seconds to kick it, which is why he never got the points for it. But even then, it's just like, it's so incompetent. I mean, I completely get what you're saying. Like, the referee is human. For me, that was a very, very blatantly off his feet. The South African forward. I don't see how the referee thought by any point that he was legal, because as soon as you go off your feet, unless you've properly won that ball behind him, you're just like clambering for the ball. It was ridiculous. But you can't kind of accept that. I mean, it was a phenomenal kick. I mean, nobody else in world rugby would be able to do that at this current moment, I don't think. Yeah, maybe Halfpenny back in the day, but say,
I don't know. Ben Healy's got a fair boot on him.
Who?
Ben Healy.
He wouldn't manage that. No way, not a chance. Don't be a bias shite. But yeah, I mean, the try for me was just absolutely appalling. Very, very bad officiating. And here's one. The All Blacks were getting pinged for this in the second half quite a lot, but I'll try to keep away from the second half as much as possible. Khaleesi, in the first 10 minutes, twice deliberately slowed the ball down, and it was like just going over, holding it, looking at the ref, like, can I compete? You're not telling me he knew fine the ruck was formed, and twice he went over, and it's just because he acted that innocent, looking up at the ref, waiting. Perenara couldn't play that ball. It was an absolute joke. Absolute fucking joke. And you're okay once, you get up with it. Twice, though, that's when the referee should be looking and picking. And that's where the inconsistency was. And that's why I'm actually quite annoyed at that decision. Like I say, I could accept the turnover decision where it led to Sasha's penalty kick from 60 metres if it was the same in the All Blacks' favour as well. But it wasn't. And it's just so infuriating because the All Blacks could have had an extra 3 points from that, which in the grand scheme of things would have made a huge difference.
Did you, by any chance of, just if some of the listeners might be thinking this, but how much money did you put on a bet for the All Blacks to win this game?
I actually don't bet, but if I did, I would have put in a lot because I was feeling up for it, and I'm quite. You can sense my anger. It's just because I want things to be consistent and fair, and it just seems there's been such grey areas and like so much controversy for so long. It's just really annoying. And I just think, no offense, any South African fan that watches this channel, if you do, as people, you're absolutely I know South African people, you're Southern people. As soon as it comes to rugby, you change, and I don't know why. It's ridiculous. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
I'll agree with you there, because it's like, for lack of a better analogy, it's like in football, like before they went bust and everything, like they're like Ranger supporters. They don't like it when they get it up them, and they have like the Springboks. They have to be like the number ones. They cannot ever do with like losing or anything.
No, no.
You know what I mean?
It's like like you see a lot of it on Twitter, and they go after like they shouldn't have lost the game when they blatantly shouldn't have lost the game. They were on the better side, but I don't know. Like no, you are. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't like Rangers, but I know plenty of people that do, so I might stay hush about that, so they'll get a chap at the door. What else happened though?
But yeah, the
No,
yellow cards in the crowd. That's another example of the Springboks just being that made by blood. That was typical football behaviour.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was going to get on to about like the fan bit, but you've already gotten to their first. It's honestly incredible how in 2024 you want to keep rugby to its traditional ways, where it's respect. Yeah, okay, you do hear boozing that here and there and a bad decision, but you usually just get on with it. But you don't flash a yellow card to the screen. That just makes you look such an obnoxious twat, really. And I think I've already decided my twat of the week. To be fair, actually, unless something dramatically changes, I think whoever they are, they're stamped onto it. But just to say, nobody give that guy any hate. He is human after all. He can obviously come out and apologise for his actions. But I mean, whether or not he does it, I don't know. But if you have apologised, you're forgiven. If you're not, then you're an idiot. So what else happened? All Blacks kicking game was in the first half was sublime. You had TJ and D-Mark pinning them back very, very well. It was quite clear to see the All Blacks did not want to play anywhere near the half or obviously inside the 22, but more in particular, just like the kind of half kind of area, the kind of open kind of zone. They scored a lot of tries off, well, dare I say it, South African mistakes. Cough, cough, Cheslin Colby. When not just Cheslin Colby, Jesse Creel as well. They overshot the run. I think I don't know how you've got to defend your boyfriend this time though, but you got sold the dream by a prop. Tyler Lomax sold Colby the absolute dream with a dummy, and then obviously down the line, Caleb Clark in hand scores a try.
Yeah, well, that second try in particular, I seen him and I was like, this is meant to be elite level rugby, like Clash of the Titans, and then you've got Cheslin Colby.
It was poor.
I wouldn't even say I've even done that. You know, at the level I play at, which is
It's
not
very
nearly.
poor. It's the fact that Creel and Kobe both did it. I just thought, bloody hell, like, there's no point even speaking about it. Like, if you're watching that as a coach, you will be absolute fizzing. I mean, they won't get dropped because they are who they are, but I mean, if there was somebody just as good as Kobe on the bench, I think Kobe would maybe be sitting the next game out there, to be perfectly honest with you, if he wasn't Cheslin Kobe, and if Jesse Creel wasn't Jesse Creel, who I think is actually very, very underrated as an outside centre. I think he's possibly the best outside centre in the world right now. Yeah, and yes, better than Hugh Jones or anyone like that before you go off in Andy. Anything else you want to add about the first half? I'm trying to calm down now. I think I'm ready to go to the second half.
Yeah.
So second half,
No, not at all. Yeah, just second half. Yeah.
second half was the worst start possible for the Box, best start possible for All Blacks. Jody Barrett intercept try. Now DLND has got a lot of answers. Has got a lot of answering to do. I mean, fair play, Jody Barrett read it like a book, but it's so predictable. Maybe Rasmus has the answers to give because it's so predictable offline. How many times they have a pod of Khaleesi outside the centre or the 10 and he hits it up. It was quite obvious what he was going to do. I will say, if the ball went to Khaleesi's hands, he was clean through, but it never. Barrett intercepted it and in for a try, 7 points on the board. From there on, I thought All Blacks were going to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah,
I agree. I thought the All Blacks, although obviously they didn't ultimately win the game, to me this was the best they had ever played under Razor. And
yeah.
I maybe didn't say it in the last episode that we did, but against Argentina, they came out, they fronted up in that second game, and it felt like, they were playing for the pride of the jersey, the history of the All Blacks, we don't lose or whatever. The Box were really lucky to win this game, in my opinion.
Well, it was the first time that the All Blacks had lost in Johannesburg for 10 years,
Hmm.
which is a bit mental, to be fair. Yeah, you wouldn't actually think that, but it is, and maybe they're playing for that kind of bragging rights. And it's also arguably the two best teams in the world, historically, anyways. The two best teams in the world going head to
Most
head.
dominant, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I think, I think All Blacks were what, like 27, 17 points ahead. Maybe it was. I think Boxing had less than that. With 68 minutes, no, 17-27, with 68 minutes on the clock, so 12 minutes to go. All Blacks put on three players, one of which being the young scrum half. His name escapes me. Can't remember his name.
Not Finlay Christie, no.
Who?
Finlay Christie, him that was born in
No,
Scotland.
it wasn't Christie. It was a new lad. It's
Ah.
really annoying. His name's escaped me, but nevertheless,
Anyway,
he TJ had another great game, and he came on just as most nights do, like 10, 15 minutes to go. But him and the few other players that came on just almost like killed All Blacks momentum. I don't know if it was maybe to do with the bomb squad coming on, but they came on quite early. That's the thing. So I'm quite confused by that. Like, what was it? I think it was the three All Black subs killed the momentum and the flow of the game. And well, the poor little scrum half, he made two errors with his first two touches. One of which was conceding a penalty, which is a bit silly of him in the circumstances of the game and the kind of time and the scoreline, but he did, and lo and behold, Springboks ended up taking the lead eventually. Not just then, but eventually. I think, as good as he is, I feel Jody Barrett is still like criminally underrated. I mean, I don't know if I said him like when since you've been part of the podcast, but I remember like my first season like on Spotify, I used to absolutely toss off Jody Barrett, and it's just because he just seems to be the most well-rounded rugby player on the planet and versatile player on the planet. And what I mean by that is, if you think which player has played every single position in like the Blacks, say the only position Barrett's not played in the Blacks is 9, because he's too tall and he just needs as a very specialist position. He's played fly half, he's played centre, right, 12 and 13. He's played wing and he's played fullback, all for the All Blacks. Nobody else has done that. The only person that comes close to that is like playing international level that many positions is Kurt Beale, who played once again 10, 12, 13, 15 wing. It's just it. But the thing that Barrett has over Kurt Beale is, well, one, he's a Kiwi, but also it's the ability to change up the game, as in like his kicking game. He can adapt the kicking game, both feet as well. Kurt Beale can't do it. Maybe not so good off his left. Barrett is just as accurate and just as powerful off his weak kick, off his weak side. He can kick from post very well. He can kick from distance, from the sidelines. Ball in hand, he's absolutely phenomenal. Like I say, he's played so much positions. Like he's so versatile. Even Audie Surveyor said that he would probably be able to play in the back and second row for the All Blacks. That's just insane. I mean, I wouldn't like to see it, not going to lie. I think it maybe ruin and tarnish his career. But as just when you get bigged up like that from Audie Surveyor, who's, I mean, in my opinion, the best player in the world, it says a lot, to be fair. Maybe it's a bit of PR talk and a bit of like just a bit of hype, but even then, you don't say that just to be daft. I think Blackadder and Sam Cane were also sublime. Blackadder's had a bit, I don't know, maybe not criticism, but he's not like the first choice, and people maybe question why he's there. But I think he had an absolutely insane game, and so did Sam Cane. Sam Kane's tackling, absolutely on point. For coming back after obviously got sent off in the Rugby World Cup final, hurting from that. And what a game to come back to starting as well against the Springboks. Where the last time he played against Springboks, obviously he got sent off, but I think he played sublime as well. You got any stand-up performers?
Stand-up performers, well, I just thought TJ Perenara run the show quite well, and as you say, Jordy Barrett, I mean, across the whole, the All Blacks, up until the 65th minute or whatever, they were such a well-drilled machine, in my opinion.
Yeah, literally, they were literally like a well-oiled machine. They were in control.
Yeah.
Sasha Fine, I'm going to try and say his name again. Sasha Feinberg Mgonzam Zulu. I think did he get man of the match? I've never actually seen this, but when I watched it, I did think he deserved man of the match. And he is my man of the match for that game. As good as all these other players were. For the I'm not even mentioning his, well, I will mention his age, just now I have. But age aside, that was such a mature, apart from the kick at the end, penalty kick at the end, because he absolutely fluffed. That was such a mature, reliable, just absolutely just knowledgeable performance from him. His kicking game was very good. It helps that he can kick a ball 100 metres in the air, but his accuracy as well, though. Defensive work, amazing. Attacking work, amazing. Kicking from hand, amazing. Kicking from feet, amazing. I mean, he was just amazing. Vicky Wari, well, here's one. From one side to one extreme to the other, should I say? Vicky Wari, I didn't even realise he was playing. I honestly forgot he was playing rugby. I honestly thought it was somebody else playing 13. Where was he? Especially in that second half. Where was he? I mean, can you answer that? Because I honestly, I don't even know if he got the ball in hand.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, maybe just the whole Jody Barrett getting that try. I mean, everybody was looking to him rather than what was maybe happening off the ball, defending, rucking, those sorts of things. But yeah, maybe went under the radar in this game.
Possibly, but I mean, I just literally I remember he got the ball literally very late on. I was like, when was he on the pitch? But I think he had a quiet game nonetheless. There are some instances where you do have on paper a quiet game, but you are doing all the dirty work, making the tackles, hitting the rocks. But in attack, again, could it be down to the kicking game that we're playing? They were playing a kicking game as a 13. You're not going to get much of the ball. As a 12, when you're Jordy Barrett, you will get more of the ball to kick and play. But as a 13, you don't really get the ball to clear your lines. You're more just up there chasing and closing down the space. So there's maybe a part of that to play in it as well. But I do think he's a good 13, to be fair. Adapted well from being on the wing back in the day to playing 13 now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the bomb squad worked wonders, which is very unsurprising.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it might have been a contributing factor, but that I said to my girlfriend around about just a couple of minutes before that yellow card came out, I was like, if there's going to be another score, the next score is going to finish the game at this point. 2 minutes later, the All Blacks go down to 14, and for a change, the crowd, they smelt blood, and for me, that was it. The writing was on the wall at that point.
Yeah. But I'm disheartened, but I'm encouraged. I think once again, I said this is the way it goes with Razor. You have one game, you suss them out. The next game, you win it. I mean, obviously beat England twice, but Argentina, they had that one game they lost, came back and absolutely humped them. This game was very close. I think you've learned a lot. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen the second time round. It is this weekend, is it?
Yeah, it's this weekend, 4 o'clock.
4 p.m. again. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch it this weekend. Got a lot of plans on Saturday, but yeah, I mean, I think Razor is answering a lot of the old guard, a lot of classic fans, a lot of their answers were whether he was good enough for the job or not. To me, he's got the All Blacks, although they maybe didn't win, and yes, for the All Blacks and Springboks, winning is everything, but they are playing a very, very good brand of rugby, and yeah, I mean, even with the fallout with the coach that left last week, they're definitely to be taken very, very seriously.
The thing is, I think Razor's taken on the All Blacks at the most difficult time in All Blacks history, I feel, because they're not top dog anymore. They haven't been since 2015. I mean, of course, like they had that massive stint through like the 90s and 2000s where they never won the World Cup, but they were still like the favourites every single time. But this day and age, they've not been. That's the difference. I think it's the most challenging kind of period for the All Blacks or any coach that goes into the All Blacks job to like go and do a job. And I think he'll come good, being honest. But yeah, I'm going to sneeze. Would you like to move on to the next game?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we will move on from that game onto the second game. Now, the Wallabies against Argentina, or Los Pumas. Again, I didn't catch this game, Zav, did you?
Here and there, but I was not going to lie, I was down the pub. And by 11,
Fair enough, yeah.
by like 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock in the morning, you're not really interested in what's going on the screen, but you try your best. It was alright. It was alright as a game. It was alright. I have watched it back. It was alright. That's all I can really say. Being honest, it's Argentina weren't absolutely enthralling, and I mean Australia did a job. I mean it was away from home. They won just by a point, but I think there's maybe comparing. It's not fair to compare them to the All Blacks and Springboks, but if you were, you can notice the difference in class. Defensively, it's a massive kind of difference in my opinion.
I agree. I thought the two tries that the Wallabies got was very kind of poor defending. I will put into context it was a horrendous night of rain and wind, and that does have an effect on the game, no matter what level it is. But yeah, it looked like a really, really tight game that I seen, terrible conditions, but I have to say it was great resilience from Australia to be, I think it was 13-7 down at half time to go and win it.
2019.
Yeah, that's incredible resilience.
Yeah, for sure. And it's good to see they can do that. Like, I mean, they've only had the Springboks to compare, and they've always been there against them. But and maybe not that second, but they've always like lost at the end. So it's good. They needed this victory. I mean, it would have meant a lot for them. They did have a bit of flair, albeit the conditions were quite shit. They did have some flair. That try from the scrum half, Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon. It was the first try in 106 minutes for Australia, which is, I mean, yeah, it's not great. Like, I mean, a lot of people might compare it to football and think that's not too bad. That's just like a game in 30 minutes or something. In rugby terms, not even, actually even less, like a game in 20. In rugby terms, that's quite a long time because most teams average 3-4 tries a game this day and age.
Yeah.
So it's very poor. But I think the attack was like more their strength in a way. Like I said, the defence was quite poor-ish, especially in amongst the breakdown. There was a lot of breakdown penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I know this. It's a shame for. It's not a shame. It's bittersweet. Augustin Creevy. It was his last game for the Pumas. I might get up this little start that I sent you just over the weekend. It's actually insane though. That's not the right one. Here we are. Augustin Creevy played for Argentina for the final time on Saturday. He honoured. Blah, blah, blah. He holds 3 records for the Pumas. Most caps, which is 109. Most Rugby World Cup caps, which is 22. Which is a fair amount actually.
That is quite a lot.
Yeah, for a World Cup, seeing how sometimes you can only play 4 games, maybe 3 games because you don't play them all. I mean, you can play up to 8, but I mean, when did Argentina get that far? Most tests as captain, which is 51, which once again, to be captain for over half a century of games, it's a lot. His debut was in 2005, so I think he's probably one of the very last standing guys who have been in the go since like the early-ish 2000s or mid-2000s. Can't really think of
Yeah,
anyone else, being honest. Like, top of my head, certainly not. Maybe for some of these like older nations, but that's incredible. 39, nearly 40 years old, nuts. His debut was in 2005 against Japan. I guess what position he was. I mean, you'll know because I sent you the bloody article. Played flanker.
yeah.
So once again, adapted his game. To be fair, there is that link between flanker and hooker. You see a lot of players being able to do it. Stuart McInally was one of them. There are players that are able to do it. If you drop a flanker and you need somebody to come on, you've not got a flanker, you can't put your hooker on there. Just the kind of body stature, the kind of attributes. So no, fair play to Creevy. Sad day for rugby. You've lost an absolute legend. Like I say, bittersweet that it was a loss, but that's just the game. That's just part of the game, unfortunately. Got anything else to add?
No, I was just going to say that although the manner of the win might not have been all that great for Australia, it's a big deal winning that game. That was I did some digging. That was their first win in the Rugby Championship after 10 games, meaning that their last win was on the 27th of August 22 against the Springboks. So that really does just show how big a deal this win was for Joe Schmidt and the Wallabies.
Yeah, that's rough. That's very rough. And hopefully it's a step in the right direction because I know I say it, honestly, like I bang this drum like it's going out of fashion, but I really like Australia and Australian rugby. I mean, they've got the most Australian coach you could ever imagine, showing his like real traditional Aussie roots, pushing that into their team. You know I'm minding Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting. Yeah, you had such a serious face there. I thought you were thinking, what the fuck is he on about?
No, I think
Yeah,
about that most of the time with you have.
no, they've got a great coach. Obviously, he's a Kiwi, but I mean, Kiwi or Wallaby or not, he's going to make a change in Australian
You
rugby.
love Australia rugby that much. You felt so emotionally invested in a New Zealand game this weekend.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
to be fair, like you lose concentration when it's like 12 o'clock at night. But no, I just love Australia. I just love Australia. But the main game this weekend was Springboks v the All Blacks. Let's be real here. That was
Oh,
like
definitely, yeah.
that's the main talking point. That's the one that everybody wanted to see, and everybody wanted. Well, hopefully everybody wanted the All Blacks to win, unless you're South African. Yeah, okay. Some other results that came in this weekend. There wasn't too much rugby. There was some Pro D, which is the second tier of French rugby, which is insane that is a professional league. So they've literally got players like Jimmy Goppert. You've got who else you got? Who's it? Sam Johnson that played for
Oh,
Scotland. He's playing for Brave. Same with Courtney Laws. He's playing in Pro D for Brave. That Brave team's stacked of great players and is in second tier French rugby. Awful lot of tangent there. We had Pro Tour games. Didn't really watch that. I've got other things to do in my life than just sit and watch rugby all day, such as playing rugby. But I did see Zebra beat Glasgow 31-0. I mean, it wasn't the best team from Glasgow, but you still expect to get some result. Not a 31-0 humping. You had Samoa, they defeated Tonga 43 points to 17. That's going to shape up the Pacific Nations Cup quite nicely. Let me just get the pools up now, because that means Samoa will be second in their group. That's right. So Fiji are top of their group, Samoa second, and Tonga third. Fiji are still to play Tonga, which will mean they'll be level on games played with them all. And that probably would mean Fiji would be top by Yeah, and so Fiji beat Tonga, they go through. In the group below, USA played Canada, and it was 28 points to 15 to USA. Really thought USA would do a lot better than that, being honest. But I
So
mean,
did I.
Canada's Canada at the end of the day. Like the Japan score was some crazy against them. It was like, what was
It was
that?
50 on them, did they not? 55 something.
Yeah, I should have it here. I know I don't. Nevertheless, it was something like 55-20 something. Yeah, but USA only beat them 28 points to 15. A bit poor from them. They got a bonus point try though. That means it's a showdown between Japan and USA to get through. Yeah, or be top of that pool in the Pacific Nations Cup. If you don't know, you can watch the Pacific Nations Cup on Rugby Pass, which is a free website. Just on like Safari or Google Chrome, whatever. Get all the games for free. You can watch them or catch up. To be fair, they are at silly o'clock in the morning, such as the Tonga Fiji game is this Friday, 6th of September, 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm actually going to try come up with get up and watch that game. To be honest, I think I might manage to do it. Yeah, might be tired at work, but it's only work, doesn't matter. But I think I'll watch that game. I think it'll be a good game to watch. What else we got on the Saturday at 11:05, so a more realistic, decent time. You've got
I
Japan
might be
taking.
awake by that point.
Do you think you'll be watching that one?
No, probably not.
I think I will. My rugby season starts this Saturday, but I think I will squeeze it in before the game. To be fair, but no, definitely Fiji v Tonga. That's one on my radar. What's your predictions for those games?
I mean, Japan will probably win their game.
I don't
And
disagree.
I'd probably back Fiji to win theirs.
Yeah. I'd say Fiji will win by about 25 points. Fiji are that good. They are the team.
Yeah.
I think. I suppose you can't really see past Japan as not inconsistent, but they're not like flying yet. But under Eddie Jones, I think they'll see out a result of these USA. I think. I just think that result the USA got against Canada just was not convincing. So I think I'd say Japan by maybe 15 points, and yeah, that'll be that. Okay. If we're happy, we'll move on to the main subject that everybody loves. It's Guess Who. Right. You do realise, Andy, you're still losing. You've not been ahead since we started it, and we're 3 rounds in.
Yeah, I technically bet you last week, though.
But, well, it's 9-8. I mean, you did.
It went from
You
7-5 to
you
9-8.
beat me
That
last
to me
week.
is improvement.
Yeah, but you beat me last week. But just because Glasgow beat Leinster in the URC and Leinster's finished above them doesn't mean Glasgow have won.
Well, they did. They won the URC title last season.
No, I know, but I'm saying if hypothetical.
I know there are many battles in a war.
Yes, exactly. Okay, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go fast this week. So I was a little improv, so I was like, I forgot to do it. So I didn't forget to do it. It was my priority this weekend. So, clue number 1. I was born on the 23rd of April, 1984. That makes this guy 40.
23rd April, 1984.
Yep.
Makes him 40. Chris Austin.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Number 2. I played all of my rugby as hooker in Scotland.
I know this one. Ross Ford.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
He's only 40 years old.
40, yeah.
Fucking hell, seems like he's been. I thought he was ancient. He's not played since 2015. It's like 9 years.
Well, I maybe got that. Well, my next clue, which I should have put in there, was I played in the Sevens team at the Commonwealth Games in 2002 for Scotland.
I would have never gotten that.
I am currently strength and conditioning coach for Scottish Rugby.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then number 5 at 110 caps, I'm Scotland's most capped player.
I would have guessed that one as well. But if you rearranged that, then that's on you though. So what's that? 4 points?
4 points for Zav.
Which means I'm up to 13.
Oh God.
Nice.
I'm going to really regret being so smug a few minutes ago now, I feel.
Okay. Clue number 1.
Okay.
My international debut was in 2013, and since then, I've gained 90 international caps. Still an active player.
How many caps did you say? 93?
90. 90.
90. Bowden Barrett. That's incorrect anyway. Why did I say that? Oh,
That's not a bad guess. That's really not a bad guess at all, but you're wrong. My primary position is centre, but I have been on the wing on the odd occasion.
It's not Geordie Barrett, no.
Geordie Barrett didn't start playing until like 2017, I think. Clue number 3. I've won. So my international honours is I've won one Six Nation, which was a Grand Slam in 2022.
Oh, who won it in 2022? 2023 was Ireland. This is going to annoy me when I watch this back because it's so obvious. I'm going to have a guess on France and say Gail Fickou.
Correct.
Yes.
That's a fair play though. Gail Fickou, 3 points. Nice one. Clue number 4 was my clubs have been Toulouse, Stade Francais, and Racing 92. And clue number 5 is I'm bald and I've looked 35 since I was 18. I had no idea what I'd do for my 5th clue. So that puts you on 3 points. You're on 11. So you're hanging in there. It's not like I'm soaring away, but
No, not at all.
That was a good guess though. What was your other kind of thoughts during that? Like, who did you think?
I was thinking it surely to fuck wasn't Wales that won it again. It was definitely 2021 they won it and not. Yeah. Because I knew Ireland hadn't won it. They'd only won it the 2 times, and it was just getting in my mind. It was like 2024, then 23. Who did it? 22. I was like, got to have been France because Scotland got played off the park when they came to Murrayfield that year.
Yes, correct. That should be correct. Are you sure? Actually, I went to that game. I think we lost.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Scotland got played off the park.
Oh, right, yeah. I was the last Scottish game I'd been to actually. Oddly enough, it was a good game. Like, but I mean, just Scotland.
So opinionated about Gregor Townsend, yet you don't go to any game.
Say again.
You're so opinionated about Gregor Townsend, yet you never go to any Scotland games.
It's kind of hard when you're in Bristol, man.
Yeah, I live in Shetland. I went to Scotland, Ireland for Super Saturday this year. Yeah.
I went to Scotland, Romania for the World Cup. See, I'm a travelling fan, mate. If you were to go down that road, I've been to Tbilisi. Do you even know where that is? That's in Georgia, not Georgia the state, Georgia the country. I've been there to watch Scotland play. I've been to Italy to watch Scotland play. I've been to Wales twice. The first time COVID stopped it, but I still went down for the sesh. Been to Murrayfield about 13 times. Where else have I been? I think that's about it. Pataudry, Aberdeen, been there twice. Scotland lost once. Yeah, we lost to Tonga that game. I was Andy Robertson's last game. So I am a travelling fan. And
Oh my God, we actually lost to Tonga, didn't we?
yeah, I was Andy Robertson's last game. It was dreadful. It was so bad. But that was a painful time to be a Scottish fan. Well, just a Scottish person in general. But we've improved a lot since then, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Right. Last thing before we wrap up today's episode, it's been 51 minutes on the dot. Legend and twat of the week. Now, for me, it kind of speaks for itself. It's quite obvious, but if do you want to go first, or do you want me to lead the show?
No, on you go. You say yours, and then I'll say mine. You started.
So I did say I started the podcast about 5-10 minutes in. Who the twat of the week was? Sorry. And I mean, there's literally nobody else that could even come close. It was those box fans with a flashing yellow card. Get that football shit out of rugby ASAP. I've not got any time for it. You've got no. I hope you've not got any time for it. Rugby fans have got no time for it. Nobody's got time for it. Get it out. It's ridiculous. It's so unnecessary, and it's just disgusting. So that's my twat of the week, and hopefully hopefully they see this and go, oh shit, yeah, but nah, probably not. Legend of the week for me is Jody Barrett. I mean, once again, I think it speaks for itself. He was so good. I would have put Sasha Feinberg Mgonzulu, but he did miss that penalty kick. As much as I thought he was man of the match, it was just Jody Barrett's kicking off both feet and just the intercept try, and just like I say, if New Zealand didn't do those 3 subs at the time they did, they probably won that game. And if they kept that momentum going, I think Jody Barrett was just incredible. Yeah, so that's my legend and twat of the week. Yourself, Andy Moore?
I agree with you with the Bok fans. It made my blood boil. I cannot be doing with that football nonsense in rugby. For me, hero of the week for breaking down that horrendous run that Australia have been on. My hero of the week, or legend of the week, whatever, Joe Schmidt.
Fair shout. What about you've done twat of the week already. No, fair play. One last thing before we go, I would like to congratulate fellow other podcaster on the Rugby Pod, Jim Hamilton. On this day in 2015, Jim Hamilton retired from international rugby. He was 1,000. I can't even say that word. It sounds like I've got a list.
All right, Mike Tyson.
It's like I need help. He's the 1,000th. Okay, can you help me? I literally can't say it. 1,000.
So what Zav is trying to say is he was the 1,000th player to receive a Scotland cap. There were 999 before him. He was the 1,000th.
That's correct. And he won 63 caps in his 9-year Test career. He was also vice captain for Scotland at some point. I can't remember I think it was
self-proclaimed. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that's more self-proclaimed.
He was also a very, very hard guy. Like the amount of scraps he used to get in. Honestly, look up a Jim Hamilton compilation. Magic.
Rugby's biggest thugs. Yeah.
That's great. No, a lot of time for Jim Hamilton. Absolute patriot Scottish guy, even though he's English. Okay then, right. That's all from me. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe, give it a share to anyone who needs to see this. Some nice rugby waffle, try to go to the grassroots game. This has been more based towards international side, but we have possibly got some special guests about the grassroots side of things coming up in future episodes. So leave the notification button on if you can. Stay tuned for it. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. Fucking hell's off. Think Rugby Podcast and Andy Moore. Follow us on TikTok, Think Rugby, for some quality content on there as well. Anything to add, Andy?
Folks, be sure to say Tyson in the comments to make up for all these hairline comments he said. Thanks.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you in a bit.